Veterans fighting on their own battlefield.
The history of PTSD in World War I, World War II, and today.
Post-traumatic stress disorder, which is abbreviated as PTSD, is a mental disorder that occurs because of an event outside of a normal life.
This disorder causes symptoms such as reliving the specific event, seclusion from others, and other more serious symptoms. In PTSD, parts of a soldier's mind can change. The hippocampus, which sorts memories, can weaken significantly,
as well as the amygdala, which stores emotional memories, can change to grow stronger. The World Wars were both major wars for advancement in electronico-mechanical weapons, which led to advancement of cases and treatments of PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder was first diagnosed as shell shock, war neurosis, and war trauma in World War I, but was most commonly referred to as shell shock.
The term shell shock was named because of the new weapons used in World War I. The shrapnel and damage caused by these would come close to the soldiers.
Symptoms included the soldier's loss of memory, smell, and taste.
Throughout history, before the end of World War I, psychiatrists and doctors believed shell shock was caused by a physical injury of the brain. At the end of World War I, they came to the conclusion that it was a result of emotional injury. Treatments included electric shock therapy, shouted commands, isolation, and restricted diet. In World War I, the British Army wanted less cases of shell shock, so they discouraged the diagnosis in order to cut down the number of cases.
During World War II, soldiers were at a higher risk. There was this concept of total war. Total war is when the civilian population is targeted. For example, the Holocaust, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki.
I still have dreams, but they're crazy. You know, they're just crazy. I don't remember them. They tell me at the VA to write them down, and I think I'll remember them. But some of them are just totally insane. I dream about old buddies and places we were, and we were moving all the time. I never talked about it for years, did I? The kids, when I did start talking about it, the kids didn't even hardly know I'd been in the Army. I used to tell them places I'd been, you know. They didn't know that.
Actually, he started telling his grandson these stories to entertain him when we babysat for him. And then he decided his memory was getting kind of fuzzy, so he started writing.
Yeah, when you get old, you can't remember if you even had breakfast this morning, but you can remember what you eat 60 years ago. That's true. A lot of things you don't want to remember, you know, are so horrible you don't remember them. I mean, people don't think about it, but in Germany and in
Psychiatrists were introduced to the fact that psychological weakness didn't have much to do with physical distress in combat. To reduce the recurring experiences from the battlefield, medical workers were to administer sodium pentanol as well as distribute liquor to soldiers. Medical officers were trained to notice the signs of combat exhaustion.
In 1980, battle fatigue was given the name we use today, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD for short. COSR, combat operational stress reaction, is a precursor to PTSD. COSR is during and shortly after the period of time following a traumatic event. PTSD is the long-term effects as well as more extreme.
Treatments include dual modality meds and therapy, which physically treat the affected parts of the brain. Prolonged exposure therapy, which is re-experiencing the traumatic event. Cognitive processing therapy, which is pushing the soldiers to think about the process of PTSD.